Come to me, son of Jor-El. Kneel before Zod. In this video, I want to remember and salute the late Terrance Stamp and reflect on his most meaningful role, at least for me. Hey all, I have an ask from this side of the camera. Please smash that like button and also consider subscribing to the channel if you are not subscribed. Hey all, welcome back to Big Discussions 76, Entertainment and Media. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and I am the content creator for this channel. As you can see there, I wear many hats, and over here on this channel, I cover all things media. And since I've had this channel, I have covered deaths and notable. I've covered when notable entertainers have passed away, and as Paul Edgecombe said in The Green Mile, we all owe a debt. But yeah, many entertainers, actors, actresses, singers, in some instances, wrestlers or athletes, even, because sometimes they cross over into media, they play important parts in our lives, and specifically sometimes very, very specific times in our lives. And particularly sometimes when we're children, sometimes when we're teens, there are roles and actors and actresses who you remember. And that is very much the case for the late Terrance Stamp, who passed away. I got word of it on Twitter X last weekend, and I just wanted to say some words about him. And for me, what his most iconic role was. So I'm not going to give a detailed overview of Terrance Stamp's life and his acting career. I will say that he was an accomplished actor. You can look him up. I think his most, well, not I think, but his most meaningful role for me was playing General Zod in actually Superman, the motion picture, and Superman 2. I won't get into the entire thing here, but the first two movies were initially directed by Richard Donner. The movie was produced by the Salkinds, a father and a son, the Salkinds, and those are the guys collectively who brought Superman to life in ways that he wasn't brought to life on the silver screen before. And I think at that time, I think the big thing was that they all convinced us that a man could fly. And we know that Christopher Reeve masterfully portrayed Superman and Clark Kent in the first two movies. Even when Richard Lester took it over, for me as a youngster, I was born in the mid-'70s. Those were two of the movies that definitely defined my childhood. 3 and 4, those were silly. When you bring Richard Pryor in, things are going to get a little bit silly. Salute to the late Richard Pryor. And also that whole thing with Nuclear Man and some of those fight scenes in outer space where Superman's battling Nuclear Man. That movie was kind of silly, but those first two movies were iconic. And Terrance Stamp, he shows up in him, General Zod, Ursa, and Nana show up in the motion picture in the beginning before Krypton meets its demise. But they are the antagonists in Superman 2. And, you know, what I'll just say about that is that movie, that portrayal of Superman And I don't know if anybody will ever be able to do that again. Christopher Reeve certainly captured how should I say this? He captured what Superman was truly about. He was a good guy, a true hero, a true superhero. Even with the powers, he was a Boy Scout. I think Margot Kidder's Lois Lane described him as a Boy Scout in one of the movies. But that was a pristine, angelic, straight as an arrow portrayal of Superman. He had the slick hair and the curl there, and even some people didn't like the tights on the outside of the suit. But Christopher Reeve, he was Superman. Okay, so the ultimate depiction of good. And so for me, what was powerful about Superman 2 was that it was a true portrayal of good and evil. You had Christopher Reeve embodying the qualities that I just described in the bright red, blue, and yellow Superman suit. And then you had the three antagonists, General Zod, Ursa, and Nan, 3 against 1 with the help of Lex Luthor, portrayed by Gene Hackman. But for me, what was powerful about that movie is that it was a nice depiction of good versus evil, light versus dark, hero versus villain. Terrance Stamp, he played that role with a lot of gravitas. He was, when they got to Earth, this is the planet Houston. They need machines to fly. There were just, and he used his powers, his Kryptonian powers, for evil. They all did. But he played that role with a certain amount of arrogance and a certain amount of condescension towards everyone. And General Zod had to, in order to establish his dominion over the planet Earth, he had to find the son of Jor-El and make the son of Jor-El kneel to him. And in doing so, seeking revenge for being banished to the Phantom Zone in the first movie. But that portrayal of General Zod, we only saw him in that role once. The slick hair, he wasn't a very imposing figure, at least on screen, in his black suit, in his dark suit. Nan was the enforcer of the group. But he had the slick hair, he had the beard, he had the smugness. And for me, it was just a very, very iconic role, and something even now in my current station in life, it's something that I remember. You remember those lines. You remember the "Come to me, son of Jor-El, kneel before Zod." You remember that. You remember Christopher Reeve flying up to the window, folding his arms and saying, "General, would you care to step outside?" There's just something about that, the way that was done, that that was timeless. And Terrance Stamp very much made that happen. We recently saw had the release of the James Gunn Superman. I don't know what they're going to do with that in terms of the villains. I know that in Man of Steel, Michael Shannon played a General Zod. It was an effective portrayal of General Zod, but it was different. It wasn't Terrance Stamp, and Henry Cavill was not Christopher Reeve. So it was just different. And there was just something that, I'll always be grateful to Terrance Stamp for portraying that and capturing the imagination of comic book fans, kids, and just really portraying for us light versus dark, good versus evil, hero versus villain, and a villain who had the hero's powers. Okay, so Yeah, I wanted to come on and say that and remember him. You know, the only other, he was in a lot of things, and I believe he was a classically trained stage actor. I didn't do all of the research before doing this video, but he was in a lot of things. I only remember him afterward as playing Chancellor Valorum in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And he was a minor actor in that movie. But he played that as well as George Lucas wanted him to play it. And yeah, so I just really wanted to come on. I'm going to keep this short. I just really wanted to come on and say rest in power, Terrance Stamp, and thank you for. I mean, he had a vast body of work, but in that vast body of work, for me, his most iconic role was as General Zod. So salute to Terrance Stamp, and rest in power. So before I wrap this video up, I just want to do a quick plug for my book, The Engineers of Western New York Basketball Story, Part 1, Innocent Basketball Dreams. I don't think this is disrespectful to do this while remembering Terrance Stamp, but I am a published author, a self-published author. You can see that there in my many hats. I wrote a book, a true story, a true life story about what sports teaches young people at an early age. The story takes place in Buffalo, New York. This is my story, in addition to the story of several kids from the Western New York area. And I do lay out that before taking an interest in basketball in high school, we were Superman kids and Star Wars kids and Voltron kids and Star Wars and Star Trek, and for me, Rocky. But I do, I believe I do. Yeah, if I recall correctly, I did mention Superman in here. In any case, the hardcover for my YouTube subs and viewers, I'm selling this for $25, and I'm selling the paperback for $22. So the hardcover is going for $25. And the paperback is going for $22. These will be signed copies. You could use any of the payment methods you're comfortable with: Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. Which that information is in the description box below. This is also available on Amazon in the hardcover, paperback, and ebook editions for a little bit more. But I just wanted to come on and give a quick plug for that. And yes, we were Superman kids, and then after that, comic book kids as well, at least until I became interested in the great game of basketball. All right, everyone, let me know what you think about this. Were you a fan of Terrance Stamp's work? I was looking at my t-shirt here in the camera, and yeah, before I knew about Blue Beetle and that second iteration of the Justice League, there was Superman and the Super Friends and Challenge of the Super Friends, and on the big screen, Superman and Ursa and Nan. Before, the Blue Beetle and all these other people came along. Anyhow, let me know what you think about this. Were you a fan of Terrance Stamp's other work, or were you a fan of his playing General Zod? Let me know in the comments section below. This is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar. Please like, share, and subscribe. If by chance you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below. That information is below in the description box, along with the information about my book. I'm going to wrap this up here. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.